Hello everyone. So today we are going to work on how to get in the helicopter and start driving and get out. So here we can walk to the helicopter and start it. Take off. And exit. So we are going to complete this cycle today. If you want, we can get in again. Right, so at the moment I have set auto process to this helicopter, and that's why when I play the game I already have the control in the helicopter. But what I want to do is I want to start with the third person character and walk up to the helicopter and get in the helicopter and start it. Then go somewhere and land and get out of the helicopter. That's the sequence I want to implement. Okay, so first I'll disable auto processing, and then here I'll enable back the auto processing for the player character. Now I can walk around, but still I can't get in. Right, so let me open the helicopter. And here let's add a component, a collider, box collision. It should be somewhat larger, like this, which allows us to detect the player character. And here I'll call this one. Where do I have another box? Alright, yeah. I'll name this one player detector and set custom collision. Ignore all up only with pawn, because player belongs to this pawn category. Right, and go to on component begin overlap. So if any other actors are being overlapped, we need a way to determine if this is the player. So for that, actually, just like in my third person shooter series, let's quickly define an interface. Blueprint interface, BPI character. Here let's add a function is player. This should return the output yes, no. This will be true if it is the player, if this will be false if it is not the player. Now let me go to the third person character and implement that interface. BPI character. Now here I got under interface is player. We can return is player controlled node value. If this particular particular character is controlled by the player, it will return true. Now here we can use that function. If other actor is player, if this condition is true, we can enable inputs on this helicopter, so that we can implement a way to get into this helicopter. So if this is true, let's enable input on this actor using the player controller. So we need a key to get into the helicopter. So for that, let's add an action, interact, key is E. And let's implement interact. So here we need to have a reference to this overlapping character. Let me promote this to a variable. And I'll rename it play. So if we are interacting, I'll just hide the player, set visibility, set actor hidden in game, and then attach actor to actor. Let's attach player to the helicopter. Location, let's keep world. Then let's add then let's call possess. We need a reference to player controller, and let's call possess on this helicopter. So we will be able to control the helicopter. Similarly, if player character moves away from the helicopter, that means player detector on component end overlap if it is player, what I'm gonna do is disable input. Okay. Yeah, actually I forgot one thing, and that is this enable input is only for actors, not pawns. So yeah, let me remove that, and in this BPI character I'll add set interactable. So I'm gonna set this helicopter as an interactable actor. So I'm gonna pass a reference to the helicopter actor like this. Interactable actor. And also in the helicopter I need another interface which allows us to call an event to start interaction. So here let's add another interface. This is a common pattern that I have used in multiple other systems that I have implemented. Okay, interactable start interaction. Okay, and I'll add a reference as well. object, I'll call it interacting actor. Alright, now here let's implement that interface. PPI interactable. Here let's implement start interaction. So here what we need to do is what I try to do here. Remove this, set player variable. Actually this doesn't have to call the player. It would be enough if I just call it rider. Let's call it rider because that's the character who is going to ride this vehicle. Okay, and in the third person character, here we have this set interactable event. Let's implement it and promote this to variable interactable actor. And when I press interact, if I have a valid interactable actor, what I have to do is call start interaction, and I'll pass a reference to self, that means this third person character, as the interacting actor. Now we have to call this set interactable from the helicopter to set helicopter as the interactable actor. So when we overlap, when we set the rider here, let's call set interactable, give a reference to self, in this case the helicopter actor, object reference. And when we end overlap, that means also on the other actor we can call set interactable and pass nothing, so it will clear out whatever the value is stored as the interactable actor. Alright, shall we test now? Okay, now the interactable actor is still visible. Why is that? Didn't I call set hidden? Oh, this is, it has to be true. Later on we can actually implement an animation which shows the character go inside and sit on a seat, but at the moment let's skip that part. I only want to implement the cycle of getting in and getting out. Okay, it can move, but still it can't exit. So let's implement the exit part. For that, what I'm gonna do is interact event. But in order to exit the helicopter, we need to make sure that we are on ground. So in air should be false. Where do we set it? Right, actually this box, let's call it ground detector. When this box overlaps with some other element, some other object, it set in air to false. That means we are on ground, and if we are on ground, we can exit the helicopter. So to that happen, first we need to check if we are in air. If this is false, we should be able to exit. So what we have to do is get the rider, set hidden state to false, and possess it. Whoa. this is an actor object reference, so we can't actually call possess. Get player controller to possess, we need pawn reference. Therefore, here start interaction, I'll give a pawn reference. Okay, and this character is already a pawn, so it's not a problem. But here I'll change the rider type to pawn. Do we get any errors? Here. Okay, here let's add another. Well, do we really need this? No, we don't need this. We can directly use this actor reference. Similarly here. Now let's test. If I press C, we can control the helicopter. If I press C again, oh, nothing happens. Why? Oh, here I didn't connect it. If I press E, now we are in helicopter. If I press E again, still nothing happens. So, oh, sorry, in air must be false, not true. Yeah, see, now we can switch between helicopter and character. And if I exit the helicopter while the engine is on, it will remain on, but it would be better if the engine stops automatically. So make that happen, what we can do is in order to turn off the engine, we have to keep control pressed, which reduce the RPM, and I do it where? Here. Right here we can use, this is 0.01. Let's do a select node. (0.01) here minus 0.01, and I'll pick K only if this phone is player controlled. Once I am not controlling, so the engine will gradually decrease the RPM and stop. Let me exit. Is it reducing? It doesn't look like it is reducing. Ah, yeah, I know what the reason. The reason is actually, let me revert this axis, move up axis is not calling anymore when we unpossess the helicopter. But then again, actually it makes sense. If player exit the helicopter without turning off the engine, it should remain on, so that's not really a problem also. So yeah, why should we spend time on that? Let me test a complete cycle now. Enter. press E here, nothing happens, but if I press E now, I can exit. Why don't we add some fade in fade out effect here? Can get camera, get manager, fade, start camera fade, color is black, from alpha 1 to 0 within 1 second. See, now we got some fade effect, and let's do the same for the exit part as well. Let's make 2 seconds. Right, that's better. Let's take off the helicopter and land on the platform in front of us, that white cube. Right, okay, so the cycle is complete. If I want, I can again get in. Okay, so I'm gonna stop this episode right here, and thanks for watching. So as always, project files will be available for the download in the Patreon page. Link would be in the description below, and if you like to support my work, you can get the membership of the Patreon club. See you in another episode. Goodbye.